Okay, so this is Ultimate Saturday review thing for Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 5, and I honestly have no idea how the audio is going to sound in this video. I'm still testing out my phone instead of using my camera. If I can figure out how to use an external microphone on this phone to make the audio sound better, I will keep using it. If not, I probably will switch back to my camera. But for now, for this month at least, the end of this month, I guess it's almost over, I'll just keep testing this thing. Anyways, that's not what you're here for. Volume 5, which again just has this, that they alternate between red and blue, I believe. At least the cover here alternates between red and blue. I think these all stay blue. But again, nothing fancy, which kind of sucks, especially if you saw my last review for the Superior Spider-Man where it had that really cool cover. That's what I like. I mean, these at least have that, but sometimes like DC doesn't do it. I've mentioned this in all my videos. Anyways, this contains volume 9 of Ultimate Spider-Man, which is Ultimate 6, and volume 10, which is Hollywood. And I know this because it tells me right here in the little panel thingy. It doesn't actually say the issue numbers, but that's fine, I guess. There's the back in case wondering. And before I get too far into this book was more or less like I like the ending of it. Not so much the first half, and by the way, if you hear purring, that's because this cat is right here and it won't stop purring. Anyways, basically, the first half of it really is just Ultimate 6. Okay, here actually it tells you Ultimate 6 1 through 7, which really isn't part of Spider-Man. I mean, it is because it's his enemies, it's his villains. But if you were getting all the issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate 6 1 through 7 really wouldn't be part of it. At least in the sense of they're not Ultimate Spider-Man issue this, or this. This is basically Ultimate Spider-Man issue 46, Ultimate 6 1 through 7, and then Ultimate Spider-Man 54 through 59. So, there's a difference between this and the regular stuff. Ultimate 6 is alright. It like I said, it's all around his enemies. Doc Ock. Craven goes through some enhancements in this, and he gets caught like right away, but it turns him into one of the, I guess, like the genetic version where he's all strong and fast now. Unlike in I don't know if it was like 2 volumes ago, we saw Craven, he was weak and got his ass kicked. We have Osborn, we have Sandman. Who else? Osborn, Sandman. I know I'm forgetting some people. Electrode, I think, is one of them. They're asking all of them. You can see like where Spider-Man took them out. Really, like the first few issues, I mean, they were interesting and all, but they were they weren't great. I'm gonna go with that. Like, if you were gonna skip any volume just for the heck of it, I would almost say do it to this one. But at the same time, I wouldn't, because of the second half. And it's not even the second half, it's more like just the ending. So basically, that's all it is. Like, here it is where Craven's getting confronted by the Ultimates after getting his genetic enhancements and stuff. Really, the main story here is that all of these guys break out. They obviously go after Peter. Peter gets kidnapped at one point by Osborn. And Osborn is basically like, you're gonna work for me, and, you're gonna do what I say, because I made you. Like, he has, like, this weird thing, since it was his, experiments or whatever that made Spider-Man Spider-Man. He thinks he owns him, he thinks it's, like, his property, so he wants him to do everything he wants. Or he's threatening to kill Aunt May and stuff, she is taken into, like, protective custody from, S.H.I.E.L.D. They come up with some story, which I honestly don't remember, because they do it so many times throughout the series. But here you can see Spider-Man fighting him. Spider-Man looks weird because it's a different artist, I believe, doing... I want to say it's the Ultimates artist doing all of this, so the art is different. You can see here Spider-Man kidnapped and stuff. And it ends with a showdown at the White House. I don't want to spoil more of that part of the story. It is, you know, it's a pretty decent fight. Really, Ultimate 6 wasn't my favorite thing. That was like, I think that's all Ultimate 6, but plus one issue of Ultimate Spider-Man thrown in there. It was alright, it wasn't good. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad, but it wasn't good. It was like a filler thing for me. I mean, it does advance the story, that's for sure. So it is part of the story. You should read it if you're reading Ultimate Spider-Man. But like I said, wasn't my favorite. That's basically where I'm going with that. Hollywood, which I don't know why it's called Hollywood. Aunt May goes out of town, basically, and leaves Gwen and Peter alone in the house, telling them, you know, not to do anything bad, if you know what I mean. And Doc Ock escapes. You know, kind of like, oh, okay, Doc Ock just escaped in the last thing, and now he escapes again. Kind of made it feel like they're just rehashing it, but if, like I said, if you don't think about it in that chronological order, like if you ignore Ultimate 6, which you shouldn't because it is part of the story, I didn't enjoy it that much. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on from there because I'm confusing myself, but yeah, Doc Ock escapes. He goes to his old home. I think he murders someone. I don't remember. It's this whole thing where he can now control his arms from wherever they are. It doesn't matter where they are. He can control them through his mind. Peter does confront him and gets kidnapped again. Yeah, he has a habit of getting kidnapped and getting unmasked a lot in Ultimate Spider-Man. And to get flown to a different country where Peter does ultimately... Okay, spoiler alert. Everything I'm going to say after this is a spoiler, but it's my best way to summarize this. If you don't want spoilers, I would say get it, you know, get both of them in paperback if you want. Hardcovers are more money, obviously. All in all, together as one giant book, it is kind of worth it. I personally didn't enjoy Ultimate 6 that much. I didn't like the art in it as much as I do the art in Ultimate Spider-Man. But it is part of the story. It is something you should read if you're reading the series. But, like I said, in my opinion, it wasn't super great. Anyways, like I said, spoilers. So, Spider-Man does end up in a different country. He does end up taking out Doc Ock as soon as they land in the airport. And he hitches a ride back to New York in the baggage compartment. It's super cool. That's why he's dressed all crazy-like. And he's trying to get home before Aunt May does because she's getting home that night too, so he has to get there right away. And if you can see here, that's Gwen Stacy's holding a gun to Peter. It's because in the midst of all this, I think it's like the ending of the issue before, I want to say. Gwen is basically looking for Peter at some point here. If I can find the panel, page and everything. Here we go. She looks for Peter, and I guess, I don't know why she decides to open the thing. She, I guess, has her suspicions or something. But she finds out that Spider... Whoa. Don't know what that was. I think that was an email. Sorry about that. She finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, and if you read, you know, back on how her dad died, her dad was killed by somebody dressed as Spider-Man. Obviously, it wasn't Peter, but she thinks it was Spider-Man. They killed him. So she hates him, and that's why she was holding a gun to him in that panel. And that's basically it. She runs out, and I think that's about all there is. I don't think they actually go through what happens next in this volume, for sure. Do they? No, they do. Maybe. Yeah, they do. Okay. So overall, that ending was definitely the part that I found worth it here. Hopefully, if you, like I said, spoilers, so that was major spoilers. So hopefully people didn't see that, they didn't want to know all that stuff. But the ending is totally worth it. The second half of this book is totally worth it. The Hollywood thing, I think, was actually really good. I mean, it does get kind of weird and redundant in a way that Peter always gets kidnapped, and he gets kidnapped twice in this book. Kind of makes it feel like you're reading not the same story twice, but the same concept twice, and that's probably why I don't enjoy it as much as the other ones. But overall, it is a good book. It is Ultimate Spider-Man is what it is. It's, altogether a really good story, from the first volume to the end. But we'll get to more into that when I get into that volume. Until then, hopefully have one of these up next weekend. If not, the weekend after that. I might do these every other weekend instead of every weekend just because it'd be easier and faster for me. Or not faster, but give me more time to edit and stuff. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week for another Ultimate Saturday review.